I'm Rachel Gore reporting for the Boar, and today I'm interviewing Khadija Malik ahead of the upcoming SU elections where she's running for VP Welfare and Campaigns. So, our first question today is, why did you decide to run for this position?
Oh, I love this question because it's like the reason I really ran for welfare is essentially because as someone who's accessed a lot of well-being at university, a lot of report and support, and have had a lot of struggles throughout these 3 years, I really firsthand experienced not only the best aspects of well-being but also places where it could definitely improve. And I think definitely experiencing that made me realize, especially like the parts where improvement could have been made me realize I don't want anyone else to kind of go through that struggle. And I was like, I want to make this a good experience for everyone and actually like encourage systematic change where I have the ability to do so. And I think welfare really stood out to me because it was just like, I want every student, whether it's a home student, international, or non traditional students, to have the best support available for them at all times.
And how will you seek to continue to improve mental health and well-being provisions on campus?
Okay, so yeah, this actually goes into one of my manifesto points where, for example, one thing even I personally noticed was when I do tend to go to well-being or when I have gone to well-being or been assigned therapy or like psychiatric support, there would be a very long gap between appointments, like 2 to 3 weeks. And I would sometimes sit there and be like really in need of support, especially in that 2 to 3 weeks gap. And I think after being in that position myself, I kind of realized like in my manifesto I included maybe there's some points I can introduce for well-being in terms of providing interim support to like students between that 3 weeks, introduce peer support groups, kind of centralize information, be like, hey, if you're really struggling during this point in time, here are these self-help guided books. If, for example, you have panic attacks, just compile everything and be like, these are some techniques available to you. So kind of just making that entire process more accessible and easier for everyone.
Yeah. And report and support disclosures rose for the fourth year running in
Yeah.
2024-25. Are you concerned about these figures and what more can the SU do to support its students?
I think I am like quite concerned. Like, okay, could you like just clarify what does disclosures mean? I don't want to answer it wrong.
Yeah. So report and support disclosures are where people are basically reporting an incident to the
Yeah.
system
Okay.
into report and support.
I guess definitely, yeah, that does raise a lot of concern. I think as someone who is actually going to report and support as well, it's like it raises a lot of concerns, especially about student safety. And essentially, I guess the SU can first do is like identify where these incidents are happening. For example, if they're happening in pop and there's all these issues, instead of maybe should there be a welfare officer or like a team, like young people, where that's where that relatability comes in or those accessibility comes in to talk to people. Like if there's support, I guess having more security available, having like I guess definitely like increasing security and introducing that aspect there's always someone to talk to. Because it's
Yeah.
like you can't inevitably you can't stop these incidents from happening as a whole. You can make it less likely to happen, but what you can do is definitely improve support for it.
And the cost of living crisis is also still affecting students on campus, even though the new co op replaced routes, prices didn't dramatically fall for students. Across the SU run outlets and the SU's relationship with the university, what more would you do to support students with the cost of living crisis?
That does actually go exactly into my manifesto. Oh, lovely. Do you mind if I just pull it out right exactly in front of me on the
Yeah,
side?
that's all good.
Okay. I think cost of living is something everyone's going through, like whether you're a local student or international student. The UK is getting quite expensive. And I think one of the main things is kind of cost of living, firstly, in working with accommodation teams. I think accommodation is one of the biggest things with prices, rent prices increasing. So I could try and advocate for increased availability of more affordable on-campus accommodation, strengthen a housing advice services for students living in Leamington, first-year students entering the private rental market for the first time, and especially study abroad and incoming exchange students, and actually also increasing visibility about the existence of how the university actually does have hardship funds for students who need it, and kind of simplifying that process about eligibility criteria, publishing deadline timelines, and essentially just improving communication. Because I think a lot of the time there is various support available by the university, it's just students don't know about it.
And then finally, what campaigns are you seeking to run over the next year?
What campaigns I'm seeking to run over the next year? Oh, that's a lovely question. I think definitely I would want to expand the period poverty campaign like over the next year. I think because the one thing, like being a girl, man, like the amount of bathrooms I've been in with no period products whatsoever on a 2 p.m. seminar that's running for 3 hours and just sitting there. I think definitely expanding that campaign and making it more accessible and trying to increase funding for it would definitely be something beneficial. And clearly, it's something people that love. It's worked really well. So I was really thinking, let's take it the next step forward.